when it comes to standing up to Putin. He's not so strong when it comes to standing up to the dictatorship in Saudi Arabia. He is not so strong when it comes to defending democracy. So we're telling Mr. Trump here in Arizona, democracy is alive and well. And we are going to come out in large numbers to create a government that works for all people, not just the 1%. Now, Trump and his friends in Washington, they want to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the top 1%. That is what they did, and they drove up the deficit in doing that. Trump and his friends wanted to throw 32 million Americans off of the health care they have. And if it wasn't for the vote of the late Senator John McCain, that would have happened. Trump and his friends want to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Now, we say to Trump and his friends all over this country, we have a very different vision. Instead of throwing 32 million people off of health care, we're going to guarantee health care to every man, woman, and child through a Medicare for all, single-man program. Instead of cutting back on Pell Grants and education, we are going to make public colleges and universities tuition-free. Instead of refusing to raise the minimum wage, we're going to raise that minimum wage here in Arizona and all over this country to $15 an hour. And instead of women making 80 cents on the dollar compared to men, we're going to have pay equity for women, equal pay for equal work. We have a president of the United States who does not believe in the reality of climate change. He does not believe in science. But we know in your state and around the country, the time is now to take on the greed of the fossil fuel industry. The time is now to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and solar energy and wind energy. This state can be a leader in the nation in solar energy. This president, shamefully and uniquely in modern history, is trying to win votes by dividing us up. Every president in my lifetime has understood that one of the important functions of a president is to bring our people together, not divide them up. 40 or 50 years ago, demagogues picked on African Americans, and today they're going after immigrants. And our message to this president is we are not going to accept dividing people up by the color of their skin, where they came from, what their religion is, what their sexual orientation is, what their gender is. This country has suffered from discrimination for too long. And we tell this president we are not going back to the bad old days. We are going forward together. There was a poll that just came out today, just as an example of something. You know what the poll said? Of course you don't know. I know. I read it. Poll said that 70% of the American people want a Medicare for all single-payer program. But we have not one Republican in the Congress talking about Medicare for all. And you know why that is? It's because we have a corrupt political system in which billionaires buy elections. And the only way I know to take on that corruption, to create a government that works for all of us, is for people to stand up, to fight back, and to vote. Now, I don't know how many people we have here, but this I do know. If every person here comes out and votes for David, that's probably 1,000 or so votes, and that's great. But I will tell you what is even greater, and that is if each and every one of you goes out and takes a friend or a family member or a fellow student or a co-worker, then what you have is not 1,000 votes, but 4,000 votes. And 4,000 votes is better than 1,000 votes. And I will tell you something else, and now I speak to the young people in particular. The United States has one of the lowest voter turnout rates of any major country on earth, and young people vote at a significantly lower rate than do the general public. If in this election young people vote at the same ratio as older people do, we are going to transform Arizona, and we are going to transform the United States of America. All right, Wildcats, let's do it. Thank you.